Hello, everybody. I am very honored to have Didi Uttama with us today for this conversation in our Facebook group, Stress Reduction and Relaxation Hub. And I feel that Didi has helped so many people in so many different aspects of their lives. And I just wanted her to talk to us about all her journey. So Didi, could you please tell us who you are and, a brief biography or what it is that you do and anything you want to share with us?
Okay. Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Didi. Didi is a Sanskrit word that means sister, and I am a yoga nun or renunciate in the socio-spiritual organization or path called Ananda Marga. So what the Didis and the Dadas do, the Dadas are the men, that's the word, Sanskrit word meaning brother. What we do is we basically practice and teach the principles and practices of meditation and yoga. We practice Tantra yoga. Tantra has come to be something that it really isn't. It's come to be known lately. Tantra is a very deep and ancient practice to get to the core of who we are and live a more full life. I work primarily with women and children. I am currently living in Greece. Now we are in the 10th year of running a project for refugee and migrant mothers from the time of pregnancy through to about 2 years after the child is born. And we help them in as many ways as we can to learn more, to gain knowledge, to find community, to develop themselves more fully. Our women are primarily from the Middle East and Africa. So it's quite an amazing project, actually. I've learned so much by doing it. What we do in this project, it's an all-women's project, and we start every day when we go to work, we start with a moment of silence, few minutes of silence. And our staff are not meditators, but they really look forward to this. And we do it with the mothers whenever we can, because one of the ways in which we deal with stress, and stress is unavoidable. In fact, it's not only unavoidable, it's actually necessary. Stressful events or events that push us beyond our seeming boundaries, those are the times when we really change and grow and reflect on who we are and what are we doing and how can we improve. So stress is a very necessary part of life, but when it overcomes us and it affects our nervous system and it affects our thinking and our sleeping and all of this, then that has become a negative effect of stress. So in order to deal with the stress, we need to have particular tools, particular techniques, and I feel very strongly that we also need to have a particular philosophy in life.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that philosophy in life that you think we have to?
Yes. So the yogic philosophy or the tantric philosophy is really that everything in creation is part of a bigger whole. Everything is interconnected, that we are part of something far bigger than ourselves, far greater than ourselves. We can call that consciousness of existence or that essence of existence many different names. But the fact is that it is that which binds us together, that which maintains life as we know it, and that which is really in our hearts and our souls and the very core of our being. But that essence is not necessarily easy to access. It takes the human mind to be determined and to do practices to be able to reach that core of silence. It's a silence and it's also a joy that is really beyond human emotion and beyond being able to be put into words. It's something that has to be experienced. And that's why we do meditation. But that philosophy extends a little bit more than just knowing that there is that core of silence within us. And it really helps us to understand that everything that happens has some deeper meaning and some deeper purpose. And that's very hard when we have a lot of pain or a lot of struggle or so many problems. It's hard for us to step back and see the bigger picture. We have to do a lot of self-talk in order to release the stress. We have to tell ourselves to see the beauty or the joy even in the pain, and that really is a big challenge in life. But when we learn to access that deepest inner place, that deepest inner self, that deepest inner silence, and that deepest inner joy, then we are far, far more able to step back and see the big picture and let life happen. And even when the things happen that throw us out of balance, and that will always happen, then we can come back into balance a lot more easily. It's that balance that can give us a deeper perspective on what is really happening and who we are and why we're here and all of these really important things to understand. So it's important to have a philosophy, a guiding philosophy that you can come back to, you can think about, read about, tell yourself over and over again. A philosophy in life is a very, very basic foundation.
Yeah, I love the, from what you have been talking about is this idea that first than anything is our work, right? Our inner work, our study of the philosophy and the practices, your meditation, your being in silence with yourself. It's like you have to learn how to live with who you are and yourself, right? Even if we don't really know who we are, but kind of like be in that constant discovery of who I am, what I feel, why is this affecting me? But that without the community, right, is kind of like it doesn't grow as much because
Mm.
part of being yourself is being in community, is being in society. And I think part of our pain comes from being part of society, right? That's being part of a community where you have to accept and you have to accommodate, right?
It's pretty hard.
Really hard, but it's exactly what actually makes you grow and really realize who you really are. So it's kind of like a two-way highway in which you have to work on who you are, how you respond to the things that life is showing you or giving you, and also how
Mm.
that also permeates into the community.
Right. In yogic philosophy, we say there are many layers of the mind. And the most obvious layers are those layers of thinking in which we have to take care of our physical selves and our material world. We have to use our intellect. We have to recognize our emotions. We have to learn how to direct the mind to where we want it to be. We want to see the patterns that we are living, many, many of them, of course, unconsciously. Um, and we want to try to overcome or change those patterns to something bigger and better. But those aspects are the lower levels of life, they're the lower levels of the mind. The three higher levels of the mind are where the real peace lies and the real satisfaction and fulfillment. The higher levels of the mind are those that we have to work hard to get in touch with, but they're the ones that have the creativity and intuition and how we know things without knowing how we know it, how we relate to others from a very heart-centered and soulful place rather than just from judgment uh, or expectations, how we relate to ourselves from a soulful and heart-centered place rather than just from judgments and expectations. And yes, we are part of a bigger community, a global community. Humans are very social beings. We're not designed to be alone, really, or to be isolated. We need private individual time, absolutely. But the community is what fosters our growth in many ways. As you say, being in community, other people show us ourselves. You can't help it. I work a lot with mothers. And what I have understood from mothers, not being a physical mother myself, because of being a nun, but what mothers have taught me is how children show you yourselves, how they show you your truth. It's like taking a truth pill. You are being reflected constantly in order to see who you are and to become a better person. And even when we don't have children, when we are on the path of spiritual seeking, really, seeking the truth in whatever ways that truth resonates with you. When we are on that path, we will constantly be in situations where we are forced to see ourselves both in our positive light as well as our negative light. Way too many times we focus on the negativity in ourselves and around us. But science tells us that that's how we have evolved, that the brain has actually more neurons sensing negativity than positivity. So we have to strengthen those neural pathways of positivity. We strengthen that by training ourselves to see the positive, not with our head in the sand and not seeing the negative. The negative is really just as important, but we have to focus on the positive aspects, the positive goals, focus on those deeper inner places of life. So, yes, when we say the layers of the mind in yoga, we say we have to use them all and develop them all. Spirituality is not about avoiding the physical or the material or going off in a cave or having feeling a little bit otherworldly. No, spirituality is about being very grounded in the everyday existence of your life, doing it with more awareness, doing it with more appreciation, doing it with more of a sense that everything in this created world is here for the purpose of bringing us to our truer and deepest inner selves. So we appreciate it. We're thankful for everything physical, mental, spiritual, physical, mental, intellectual, emotional, because they're bringing us to our deeper selves.
So Didi, I wanted to, I love what you're saying. It's so beautiful. And, like this idea that where our attention goes, our energy flows, right? So it's very important to pick because it's easier for us to believe the negative than it is to believe the positive. And when somebody tells you, oh, you're so nice, so good, you're like, yeah, no, I'm not actually, right?
Exactly.
When
Oh,
somebody
no,
tells
not me, not
you're an,
me. Oh,
yeah, exactly. And then somebody tells you you're an idiot, like, yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah, like you believe it and then just stay with that thought forever. But I wanted to go back a little bit to what you were talking about when you were talking about the moms that you have been learning from. And
mm,
I want to talk a little bit about the book that you just wrote because no,
uh,
you just no, just released. You didn't just write it, but uh, because when I was reading the book, one of the things that I loved about your approach to this is the idea of maternity being not an authoritarian kind of thing, but more a
mm,
partnership with the baby, with the child. So, could you please tell us about, the name of your book and what it is
sure,
about and where people can find it? That'll be
sure.
great.
Thank you for bringing it up. Uh, so the book is called Tantric Mothering. It's based on Tantra Yoga. Tantric Mothering, a path of practical love, spiritual growth, and planetary change. I really believe that mothering is a very strong aspect of planetary change. There are researchers who have put forth a hypothesis that I agree with. And they say that back when mammals first appeared on the earth and we started to carry our young within and give birth to them from our bodies, not just lay eggs, but give birth to formed creatures from our bodies and nurture them from our bodies, then that was a huge shift in consciousness because we really began to think about others as much or even more than we think about ourselves, care about others. Mothers have shown me again and again, they would just sacrifice anything for their welfare of their children. It's an intensely strong love. And of course, it's designed for the survival of the species, but really it goes far, far beyond that. The love between the parent and the child, it's not just mothers, but mothering is so innately strong because we are designed to carry, to give ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally to these budding children. And so I think it's very, very important for us to begin to frame that relationship as a partnership. We way too often think of parenting as being a top-down event or effort. We are raising our children. There are so many programs, books, videos on raising children, but actually the children are raising us as much as we are raising them.
I love that concept. Yeah.
It's a partnership of pure love. Now, I say that infants, even before birth, but also even as newborns, they are as powerful in this partnership as we are, as the adult is. Powerful in the love that they carry. Their minds are not yet focusing on the physical world or even the intellectual world. And that's why they need so much care from us. And in that level, it's not an equal relationship. Obviously, we have to care for them physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But they are caring for us, their minds existing in that pre-intellectual, pre-verbal place means that they are really heart-centered creatures. And when we let that heartfulness affect us, that love, that joy, every mother that I know will say that mothering is probably the hardest thing they've ever done in their lives. And at the same time, one of the most beautiful and joyous and rewarding, because the love that they receive in this partnership is literally life-changing. So this book is based on the principles of Tantra Yoga, but it is also based on the words and the expressions of mothers who have talked about the everyday nitty-gritty, practical essence of motherhood, the hardships of it, the loss and the gain in so many aspects of themselves. But this partnership between the mother and the child is also reflected in the mothers talking about their expanded sense of self, how mothering helped them to recognize some sort of spirituality in life. And spirituality is very different for everyone. Spirituality, in my most basic definition, means becoming that which we are, becoming that who you are. And so mothering has helped women to see a bigger picture and to see that there's more and to see that this love from the children has many, many ramifications that we often just don't see without the children pointing them out to us. And in an even greater picture, the relationship between the mother and the infant is one which is analogous to that relationship between each individual entity and that greater powerful force, that spiritual love, that spiritual essence of existence. In yoga, we talk about it as an entity, just something that we feel and we perceive, and it becomes very real in our lives. It becomes so sustaining. The sustaining aspect of life is this deep spiritual connection. And because mothers and infants are so connected, they show us, metaphorically, if you will, but on the human level, they show us that we are never alone. We always have that essence of life, which is something like a mother or a father or a parent or a caring, loving entity who is really here to carry us, to help to carry us through the hard times in life, to help to let us experience something that is so deeply sweet and so deeply joyous and so deeply real. It becomes our true, authentic self. And that is a lot of what mothering and the partnership between mothers and children is designed to bring in ever more presence on the planet. I believe fully that the more mothers are committed to some sort of deeply committed spiritual path, path of self-discovery, path of self-exploration, then that will help our children to also understand that that path is very important. And our children's minds and hearts and souls will be more open from a very young age. And then the planet will really change more and more. And in fact, I think it has changed more and more to a very large extent through mothers. There are other researchers who say without mothering, we wouldn't just have, we wouldn't not have children, but we wouldn't also have civilization or culture or even history, because it's that mothering sense of the interconnectedness of being so deeply intertwined with other human beings that gives us a far deeper sense of civilization and community and where we are moving. And so this book is really dedicated to mothers, mothering, the partnership of mothers and children, and the change that is happening, I believe, and will continue to happen on the planet, because mothers have such a sustaining quality. That's who they are. And mothers want always the best for their children and those around them. And that pushes the planet to evolve. And that spiritual urge, when mothers have it, is really what pushes the planet to evolve. The planet evolves through that spiritual urge in all beings, and mothers and fathers as well. I just haven't worked as much with fathers as I've worked
I
with
just,
mothers.
I just was gonna say, sorry to interrupt, but I was gonna say because I remember also that, first you said, right, that you don't necessarily have to be a physical mom to be able to
Yeah,
have this partnership, but I know you also have fathers, or men as part of this partnership.
right,
Can you talk a
right.
little bit to that? And
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, I often apologize to fathers because I haven't quite paid as much attention as I have paid attention to mothers. But the way that fathers relate to children and their connection to the child is something similar, of course. Love is love, but it expresses itself in a different way. The way that male and female qualities in their essence are simply human, we're all the same. But the expression of those qualities tends to have different characteristics in males and females. So fathering and mothering, it has a different, tends to have different expressions. I think, well, what we have learned, what we have been taught, what our spiritual teacher tells us also is that in times past, fathers didn't spend as much time raising the children or being with the children or partnering with the children. And I think we know that. I think that a more direct hands-on fathering is a relatively new evolutionary phase. And I think it's one that is extremely powerful because children open the hearts and minds in ways that can happen without children, but it is a very, very direct and powerful way to do that. And so fathers are gaining more in biologically. Fathers, we are finding, are gaining, are beginning to secrete more of what we have always considered female hormones, oxytocin and prolactin, and the brains are changing to that sense of love and connection in ways that have been more typically male in the external world and connecting to the external world, and the relationship of the father to the infant, the fathers carrying the infants next to their heart the same way that mothers do, and feeling the essence of that, those children, changing them deeply, is, I believe, a very, very major part of the planetary change as well.
Yeah, I think it awakens that compassion, that relationship, like having what you're saying, describing this little being just being, like protected by you, right?
Yes,
Like you are.
yeah.
Um, it's so beautiful. I haven't finished the book, but I have enjoyed everything that I have read so far. So it's
Oh,
really.
I'm very glad to hear that. Thank you for saying
And I'm
it.
gonna I'm gonna put a link to the book so people can buy it or at least check it out.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, so that's the other thing you asked. It's available on Amazon in both print book and ebook. It's now also available at the Lulu bookstore. That's Lulu. That's another book distributor. Uh, and those are the two places at the moment that you can buy the book in both forms, in either form.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, I didn't know you had it in Lulu. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's relatively new.
Yeah, that's excellent. Okay, great. So Didi, why don't you like I know we have talked about you have this special kind of relaxation visualization exercise that you usually practice with the people you are teaching relaxation. So do you
Right.
mind sharing it with us? Would that
Oh,
be
I'd love to.
good?
Thank you.
That would be great.
We, of course, practice meditation every day. Meditation is not just visualization uh, or relaxation. Meditation is something that's deeper than that. But the beginning, what we need to do to be able to do meditation properly is to understand what is the essence of relaxation and awareness of the body and awareness of the thoughts and the feelings. So I have a particular four-step exercise, I guess you can call it, a relaxation or stress reduction exercise. It's the exercise that we start our day with our staff, in different variations of it, of course. But essentially, what it does is it starts by asking you to pay attention to that which is outside you, external to you, but focus your mind on it. I will guide you through it, but now I just want to explain it. Focus your mind on it so that you begin to concentrate the mind in the moment, in where you are right now. And then the next step, I would ask you to pay attention to your physical body, which is closer to your sense of self than the external environment. And paying attention to that, then we move to the deeper level, which is paying attention to the breath. And throughout this, I am playing a mantra, a yoga mantra, and the last step is that I will ask you to pay attention, keep the awareness on where you are, on the feeling of your body and on your breath, but also to listen to the music of the mantra and to keep that as your focus. Now, this mantra is a three-word Sanskrit phrase. It is Baba Nam Kevalam. And Baba is a word that means the most beloved, or it means love in its deepest possible essence, even a love that's far greater than just a human love between individuals. It means that essence or consciousness of life. And Nam means name, and Kevalam means is all there is, or it means that this deepest possible love and peace and joy, this deepest relationship with a greater entity or consciousness is what life is. That's the meaning of the mantra. So when we listen to it in a relaxed and calm state, then the meaning of that just goes deeply into our psyche in a very deeply unconscious level, because on a deeply unconscious level, we resonate with it. We know it's true. It is, in fact, our deepest truth. And listening to it brings it more and more to our everyday consciousness. And that's a great blessing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to start to play the music, which I will play probably softly more in the, oh no, but if I put the music down, you won't hear my voice. Okay, doesn't matter. We'll listen. Let me know when we first start if you're hearing me
I
okay.
think you will be able to, even if you talk, we will be able to hear you.
Okay, let's go.
Are you playing it? I'm not hearing the music. Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm playing it.
No, I'm not hearing the music. Do you have the
Oh, sorry, I had turned this off. Thank you for saying yes. Okay, now it's on. Now you should be able to hear it. Hold on a second. Let me restart it. Give me a thumbs up if you hear it, okay? So please find yourself a comfortable position. Ideally, a position in which you are sitting, because lying down tends to make the body and mind think about sleep. Please sit comfortably with your spine comfortably straight, with your feet on the floor if you're sitting on a chair or on the couch. Let your hands be just comfortably, loosely in your lap. And I would ask you first to listen to the sounds that you hear. I'm going to turn down the music now for a moment so that you hear the sounds that are around you. Intently listen as though you were an infant and you don't know what those sounds are, but you are very curious. You are not labeling the sounds as good or bad. You're not labeling them in your mind as to what they are. You're just listening. And when you listen, you will very often hear sounds that you don't usually hear. You may hear soft sounds. You may hear loud ones. Listen as though you are listening to a symphony of sound. The sounds blend together to be this moment in time. When your mind wanders, bring it back to listening intently. And then I will ask you to bring your attention to the awareness of your physical body. Is any part of your body a little bit tight or a little bit tense? Take a quick scan of your body from top to toe. Your face and your head, let them relax. Let that relaxation sweep down into your neck and your shoulders, moving down your arms, down your back, down your chest. Giving any part that feels more tense, give it a little bit extra attention, a little bit extra love. Let this wave of relaxation move down into your hands, down your arms and hands, down into your pelvis and your lower back. Feel how this relaxation moves into your legs, down your legs, into your feet and your toes. Allowing the body to settle into the position you are in, settling down, sinking into this very relaxed but alert and comfortable position. And then pay attention to your breathing. Your breath brings you even more deeply inside yourself. Feel how each breath, each in-breath opens you to life, opens you to the moment. And each out-breath lets go, releasing the moment is past. Every single moment will pass, whether it's painful or pleasurable. Every moment will pass. Let your breath be very natural, but watch it, observe it as you breathe in and you fill with the essence of life and love and peace. And each out-breath you release all that just was, and you come back to a place of rest, a place of pause. There is always in life activity followed by rest and pause. That pause is the recharge. There will always be breathing in and breathing out, over and over and over, breathing in and breathing out. That breath is a powerful tool in calming the body, calming the mind, and even more in bringing you to a deep place of silence and wisdom and caring. Watch your breath, ride the waves of your breath, letting your mind and your heart ride the waves of your breath. And then let your awareness come to the sound of the music and the sound of the mantra, focusing on it, listening to it. When your mind wants to think, gently let those thoughts go. Come back to the sound of the mantra, the sound of the music, the awareness of your breath. If you really lose your thought, go all the way back to paying attention, to sitting, to your body, to your breath, and to the music and the mantra. And now allow yourself to sit for just a moment, allowing yourself to be in the deepest, quietest inner places. Allowing yourself to be surrounded by a peacefulness that is always there for you to go to. The internal quietness is always there waiting. Always. Our job is just to train our minds to go there. And now take a very full deep breath, preparing yourself in a moment to open your eyes and go on with your day. But tell yourself that you will do so with more peacefulness, more inner strength, inner joy. You will go through your day seeing as much as you can the big picture of life, of which you are such an important and integral part. Take a full deep breath, and before you open your eyes, I would like to ask you to set a personal intention for the day. A thought that will guide you, that you can come back to during the day. Set your intention for the day. And gently open your eyes. And may the rest of your day begin. Thank you. Namaskar.
Yeah, that was beautiful. You have this super
Oops.
relaxing voice.
Oh, I hope you could hear me as I was turning down the volume on the music. My
Yeah,
voice
no,
is still okay?
yeah,
Oh, good.
perfect. Perfect.
Good, good.
Everything was absolutely great. Thank you so much, Didi. That was so, I feel like, whoa, I need to go.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Well,
you.
you are a pretty easy subject, I must say. You're
Oh,
quite good at centering awareness, relaxing awareness of your thoughts and who you are. I am delighted that others, I hope many people will come and learn this from you because they will feel it from your very presence.
mm,
That's really how we transmit this feeling of peace and joy. And you have a lot to do in that. So I am very happy to have joined you and to be on this path with you.
thank you so much, Didi. Really, it's an honor to have you here, and I really appreciate your generosity, not only with your knowledge, but your time. And you have been always been very loving. So I really appreciate it. And hopefully, we will have more opportunities like this to talk about so many different things about this
Yes,
path and relaxation and everything that you can give us. So thank you
let's
very
do. Let's do. Thank you very much. Oh, and one thing that just came to my mind when you said that is that I'm working on preparing a kind of a course to go along with the book,
much. Oh,
Tantric Mothering, that will be online. And
great.
we will just share, we will meet and share our experiences of mothering
Oh,
with the
wow.
topics that come up with the book. So I will let you know. You will
Yes,
be one of the first to know when it's prepared and ready.
that would be great. That would be great. I love that. I have my children have children, so it's very nice that they, and many people who come here have either their own children or now have grandchildren. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
it's really good to start, these little lives, just blossoming from the beginning. So it's very
Yes.
nice.
Very
I'm really
nice.
happy to definitely share the word. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Take care.
you too.
We will be in touch again. Lots of love to all of the people who are watching this, who have found some little bit of peace and joy, and I am delighted to be on this journey with you all. Because none of us are doing it alone. We
Now,
cannot do it
that's the
alone.
beauty of it. We don't want to
Yes,
recognize it, but we're all together on this,
but
definitely.
we're all together on this path for sure.